Okay, hi everyone. I'm Franak Viačorka. I'm from Minsk, and I think we are going to start now the series of the webinars provided by Digital Communication Network. I am working for our association since December as vice president, and I hope you see me and you can definitely ask the questions. I appreciate if you will comment or if you will disagree with what I'm going to say. Today I'm going to show you the trends, what's going on in social network and social media. I will propose some new measurements and some new approach to assessment of the performance of social media. And as well, I will show you some tools, some free tools available to everyone and some paid tools which you can use for your businesses, for your companies, for your media organizations, if you wish. And the most important thing that everyone should see, I will move it now like here, that algorithms of Facebook and of social networks has been changed. First, it happened like in the fall of the last year. Facebook started to experiment by separating Facebook newsfeed for private profiles and for organizations. And we have seen a big decrease of the traffic to the conventional media. A few months ago, after being accused of the helping to Russia to interfere foreign elections, Facebook made another change of algorithms. So the conventional media uh, began to be shown much less in the newsfeed than personal profiles. So it's not only in your organizations, like you can see in the graphics, but also international media like BBC, Al Jazeera. After January 2018, they begin to lose their traffic. They begin to lose their engagements. They begin to lose their video views. They begin to lose their visitorship. Media now have a big challenge in deciding what's more important for them, just to have the larger reach, larger numbers, which should be presented to clients, advertisers, or to build something long term. And this long term, it means to build community. So when 60 years ago, international media organization like BBC, Radio Free Europe, where I work now, they have to inform, to provide unbiased fact, balanced information. Now we have much more complex information. We have to build a community of people, of users who will be interacting with our content, who will be providing feedback, and who will be potentially creating content for us. So how to do this? First of all, we have to do everything we did before. It means to create the stories, to create the content, which will be like shareable, which will be reliable. But also we have to organize community management. And when we organize community management, I mean working with our customers, with our users, with our readers, we have also to measure this efficiency. And the new most important approach to measure measurement efficiency is engagement rate. How much people not just have seen our content, our post, our video, but how much of them interacted with them, clicked, liked, commented, or shared. That's the most important. So each type of activity, each type of interaction, it has its own weight. So for example, when before the share was the most important, now the most important is command. And probably you know that the size of command also is very important. So do you hear me? Please confirm, because I'm not sure that everyone is here. Just let me see. Do you hear me? Please confirm in comments, and I will continue the conversation. Okay, I think you hear me. Okay, good. So let me continue then. The most important is comment, and Facebook, for example, the same as Instagram, the same as Kontakte or Odnoklassniki, it also counts how long, how much time you spend on each post. And if the person, the user, leaves the long comment, for Facebook it means that this type of content is more engaging, is more important, and there is bigger chance that this type of content will be higher in the newsfeed. So if you are planning, if you are building your media, just focus on the idea how to inspire people to comment, how to inspire people to have the conversation, and try to manipulate your conversation in the way to make this discussion so long as possible. If, for example, the discussion, the conversation between the users finish, just give them some more ideas, some additional links, some more thought to talk about. Also, why we have a new approach to performance assessments is the change of the audiences, and especially young audiences. Yesterday I have seen a very interesting research which showed that the young audience consume content absolutely differently than the older audiences. And among the biggest discovery for me was the growth of Instagram. I know, for example, that in some countries like Ukraine or Belarus, Instagram grew twice for the last 1-2 years, and in some countries like Caucasus or Central Asia, its growth is like 500%. And I believe personally that to the end of this year, 2018, Facebook traffic will be less than traffic to the website from Instagram, and the time spent on Instagram is already twice bigger than on Facebook. But if we will compare Facebook with Russian social networks, the time spent there is even bigger. For example, you can see on the slide that, I hope you see it. The time spent, yeah, on the slide you can see that on Odnoklassniki, for example, people spend 3 times more than on Facebook. And it means that when you create the content, and you have the discussion under your post, it means that you have much more potential influence and impact on your audiences. So now I will show you some instruments we are using for assessing social media performances and content performances. I didn't say in the beginning that in addition to Digital Communication Network, I also work for Radio Free Europe, for Belarus service, and also I work for Broadcasting Board of Governors. That's the organization which supervises Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, Radio Free Asia. And the most difficult thing is to assess how our presence in specific country changes people's life. Because when you're in Germany or in France or United States, it's quite easy to understand where you are, if you are successful or if you are not. But in countries like Yemen or Uzbekistan or Turkmenistan, it's quite difficult. And the only thing you have, it's not surveys provided by agency, but numbers from Google Analytics, from Adobe Omniture, from CrowdTangle or Social Bakers. And that's very important to find out which metrics from these services can really help you to understand what is your audiences, are you doing well or not very well, what you should focus on, and very important to understand what is your comparative advantage, in which sphere, in which area you are more successful than competitors. For example, if you work in hostile environments like dictatorships like Azerbaijan or Tajikistan, it's quite difficult to create a TV station which will be sustainable and which will be efficient, but you can, for example, invest all your time and all your people into creating social video, because social media are still open there despite all the blocking and limitations. So the first instrument is Adobe Omniture. That's the main competitor of Google Analytics. Google Analytics is quite enough. It's the most popular instrument. I think most of you already have tried it, but I will tell you more about Adobe Omniture because it's different. Probably you haven't seen it before. CrowdTangle, that's the instrument developed by startup, and Facebook 1 year ago acquired CrowdTangle and made it available to everyone. So now CrowdTangle is given to media organizations for free, and you can play with it, you can experiment, you can add any pages from Facebook you want, and it takes the information from Facebook Insights. So the main purpose of CrowdTangle, as the same as social bakers, is to have your analytics, your data more and better organized. SimilarWeb, that's the research tool, which has quite a strange methodology. They have their plugin installed on millions, on 500 million browsers and computers, and they track people, what sites do they visit, how much time do they spend, what pages do they open, and there are free version and the paid version there, and free version gives you opportunity to see statistics of your competitors. And Chartbeat, that's the best tool for real-time data analytics. So I will show you now what metrics do we use to assess performance. As I mentioned in the very beginning, website visits, it's not enough. But the problem is that unique visitors as the metric or page views is also not very reliable. When we speak about visits, website visits, they are measured differently by Google Analytics and by Adobe Omniture. And sometimes you can see that different services show very differently because they can measure different time spent on the page as the visit. They can count differently IPs or similar IPs or the same IPs. For example, if you enter the website from the same office, it can count you as one visit or like 10 visits with all the employees visited the same site at the same time. Page views I think it's much better because it shows the total number of pages visited by the viewer potential, but unfortunately you are not sure is it the one person or 1,000 person made the 1,000 page views. Page likes, it means Facebook page likes, how many people subscribe to your page. This metric is also obsolete because it cannot really tell are you successful or not. For example, in Voice of America, it's not allowed to make paid advertisement for page likes. Because you create page likes, yeah, your page seems to be more popular, but in reality, much less people, the percentage of people really engaged is smaller. That's why if you invest in the promotion and the development of your pages, you should invest not in page like themselves, but into engagements. The same with video audio plays. When, for example, you scroll the newsfeed on Facebook or Odnoklassniki or Vkontakte or anywhere, should we count it as the video view? So in our organizations, we usually measure 10 seconds views and 30 seconds views. 30 seconds views means a very high quality video content. If you count only 30 seconds, you can really understand how much loyal audience you have. Post reach, that's the number you see under the post. It's also obsolete because it shows only the people who scrolled your content. And the same with engagement. Engagements are good, but what kind of engagements, what do they mean? And engagement doesn't give you opportunity to compare different services. So new approach, it's more a qualitative data approach. It is combination of visits and page views together. It shows the efficiency, and you can compare different services, different organizations and media outlets. It's very important to measure, besides visits themselves, to measure how much time people spent on the page. It's very important to measure how much pages per one visit person opened. Because one thing, if for example you make the Google ad or AdWords for example, and the person accidentally goes to your page and just go back, the bounce rate is 100%. It means the person is accidental. It just came because of this advertisement, but it did not stay. you didn't get the loyal audience, you didn't build community, you didn't achieve your final mission. So much more important is to focus on quality, high quality visits, to make these people open new, more other pages. So interactions per 1,000 fans, per 1,000 views, that's much more important than interactions in general, because the number of interactions, it doesn't mean anything if you want to compare services, organizations, or medias. But if you divide the number of interactions per month per number of fans or subscribers you have on your YouTube channel, for example, or Facebook, it gives you the real picture, who is more efficient, who is not. And you can compare your performance in January 2018 and in May 2019. And average time watched. I think you all know that the social video are super cool on Facebook, but the problem is that they are not watched totally, entirely, as probably we expect. So we create 2-3 minutes videos, but the average times watched internationally is 30 and 14 seconds. So people watch only the first seconds. And that's probably the reason why stories on Instagram, which are maximum 15 seconds, are so important. So now I will show you the way how your organization or your media outlets can measure efficiency. It should be the score. So I propose to stop measure only by visits, only by likes, only by engagements, but to create a score which allows you to compare different departments, different sections on your website, different projects. So you have to decide what percentage for reach, what percentage for engagement, and what percentage are for social impact. When I say impact, it means citations, quotations, reprints, development of the story if you're making the publication on the socially important, and everything should be divided on potential audience. Potential audience could be all the Facebook users in your country, all the people speaking in your language, all the population in your state. So you have to decide potential audience and to divide all the numbers you acquired previously by the number of potential audience. And this score will show you exactly where you move and are you successful or not. And you will be able to assess success or failure. And on the same slide, you can see metrics that I also propose to use. So everything could be measured. And in all 5 columns, there is one metric which is universal: number of interactions per 1,000 fans. So that's extremely important. Just try to focus on this metric and to assess your efficiency specifically by this metric. So first, now I will show you Chartbeat tool. I think Chartbit is amazing, and when I have been in America, almost every organization, media outlet use Chartbit. It shows you the live statistics, how many people visit the website. You can see what traffic, social or referrals or search, and you can see the qualitative numbers. So when you measure, for example, article, you can see how much minutes, how much page views, how much average time spent per article. So let's go to Chartbit. And I will show you, yes. So that's a Chartbit. That's a Chartbit of Belarusian Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty. So here we can see how much people are on the website this moment. Here, 295. We can see how much people are returned, how much people are returned for several times during a week, and how much are new. So only less than 10% are new. So it means that the audience came back maybe after yesterday or after the last week. We can see how much devices, mobile, desktop, and tablet, and we can see the main sources of traffic. So here we see the Facebook, almost 20% of contacts, Instagram, etc. I will tell you later about Instagram, but I'm really impressed by the development of the social network, because when they provided stories create a fantastic traffic to website. And now at Belarusian service of RFERL, we have almost 10% visitors from Instagram stories. So Chartbeat shows you all articles on your website and how much people are visiting in this particular moment this article. So when I open this article, about the car with Russian number which crashed the protesters. We can see the impact on social media. So we can see on Facebook 42 comments and 37 shares, and that's the main source of traffic for this article. But we can also see this article, if for example it was a last week article, the historical data. We can see when it's going down, when it's going up. Usually it's going down by night. So if you want, for example, to create a report, you're going to the report section and you can create a report on your articles on specific website, on specific author, and you can also set up notifications. So if you want to see historic data, it's very, very useful tool. You can see here the top of articles, but not according to number of visits, which as we discovered are not very efficient, but according to total engaged minutes. How much minutes people spent on these specific articles, how much page views, and how much time. And that's the most important. So we can, for example, sort by time, and we can see that the leader is absolutely different when we will be measuring by page views. So the most popular in sense of the time, reading time, is the article about women and men in prisons. So another instruments I want you to show are Facebook Insights. So Facebook Insights, let's go to some video of RFRL. That's totally free and everyone can use. So we see here, yes, an article about the young girls who are graduating school, and we see 29,000 views here. Yeah, it looks very good. Okay, so that's 3 minutes video, 29,000 views. And let me open and see what is inside. So you see here, give me a second. I will show you now that you can go to each video and to see the audience. How much people, what age and what gender use this video here. So if you, for example, decide about setting up advertising for the video, you can choose specific audience because already the audience is shown here. So I open audience and engagement on this short 3 minutes video, and I see that the top audience is man 35-44. So my intuition would say, oh, I think that young women should be the main target audience for this video, but reality sometimes is absolutely different. And insights and data programs and software usually help us to understand who are our target audiences. So if we look here, we see the gray color, like half color, it's our usual, like average audience, and the 100% saturation, it's our audience for this video. So it means that the men are watching this video much more often than women. And here we can see the video average time, which is very, very important because we created 3 minutes video, we see 20,000 views on the video and we say, wow, it's success. But reality could be different. So here we see that only 16 seconds is average watch time, and that's not so bad, that's okay. That's almost every video on Facebook. So quality matters. Don't measure only quantity, but also quality. And you can see audience retention. So the video starts, and almost 70% leave this video on the 19 seconds. So, and only 1% watch the video to the end. And that's absolutely normal. Just make sure that everything you want to say, everyone you want to broadcast is in the first 15 seconds. I will go back to my presentation. So now I want you to show some more tool. I want to show you heads-up display. That's another tool of Chartbeat. So for example, you want to understand what are the most read article on your website this moment, and you can have heads-up display. That's like Chartbeat set up on your front page. So what I see here numbers 3, 5, 7, 6, 4, 1, 2. Number 1, it means that this particular moment, this article is the most popular on the website. So the majority of our visitors in this particular moment are reading this article. That's number 7, that's number 4, that's number 3. So it means the popularity of this article is undoubtful, so it's very popular one, and we can keep it on the top. But if, for example, you see here number 10 or 12, it means in the very end of the top, and you have to change your front page with some more popular, more important, more urgent materials and headlines. So another thing which is also provided by Chartbit is A/B testing. If, for example, we see how much people are on this article, we can create alternative headline. So I think each of you usually have problem with headlines. Oh, I don't know how to title this article to make it more popular. So you can create several versions. You can, for example, change the word. For example, I will just change the structure of this headline. Прокуратура у Нью-Йорка подала в суд на фонд Трампа. And I make start. So I have two different headlines. And when I make the start, our audiences will be seeing different headlines. So two visitors, for example, they're accessing our website, and one visitor will see one headline, another visitor will see another headline. And after 1, 2, 3 hours, headline testing and Chartbit will understand which headline is better, and will be showing only the best headline, the most efficient headline, which makes your front page more compelling, more successful, more popular. So another tools I want to show you is SimilarWeb. So SimilarWeb has a free version and paid version. It is not very expensive. It's like $40, $50, but you can see your competitors. I will show you also a free version. For example, let's check the some visitors of website, for example, Al Jazeera. We can type here the name of the website we want to check. Al Jazeera. Okay, Al Jazeera.com, and it will show you that's a free version. It shows how much visits was during last month in May. So we see 19 million visitors per Al Jazeera. So this number, I'm almost sure, is exactly the same as Al Jazeera can see in their Google Analytics or Adobe Omniture. So it is totally trustful. And you can see here also which countries are giving them most of traffic and what are sources of the traffic. So even if you don't have access to your competitor statistics, SimilarWeb provides you with these numbers, and you can understand where you stand. What are your strong sites? What are your weak sites? You can see main referrals who are giving traffic to Al Jazeera, etc. But also, if you have, for example, paid version, you can get much more details, and you can get, for example, 1 month or 3 months or 6 months historic data on each website. So here I have Belarusian websites, and I can see how the statistics for Radio Free Europe, Russian Sputnik, pro-Lukashenka Soviet Belarus, and European Euroradio, how was it during 3 months. So I can assess my personal efficiency, my media efficiency compared to my competitors. And you see there were some successes in March because of the protest, because of the anniversary, and you can see who was more successful. Of course, like Radio Free Europe, it has a huge increase in March. In May, Sputnik Pro-Russian Sputnik has very large increase in audiences. And when you go to details, you can also compare by different metrics: monthly visits, unique visits, visits per how much visits per unique visitors, average visit duration, and how much pages open. So these are quantitative, this is our qualitative. So by quantitative, Sputnik, which is pro-Russian sponsored by Kremlin, is the #1. It's very successful. But when you go to qualitative numbers, for example, visits per unique visitors, Radio Free Europe is much more successful. Audience more loyal and more high quality. Average visit duration is 2 minutes 38 seconds. It's much more than Sputnik, which has only 55 seconds. 2 pages per visit and 63% bounce rate. It is much less than most of competitors. So don't make quantitative numbers to cheat on you, but just try to find out the compromise, the mixture of different metrics. And you can see also here the audiences from different countries. For example, you can see that from Sputnik, the majority of audiences are from Belarus. They have 11. It's compared from Belarus. So Sputnik 43% from Belarus and 46 from Russia. We can see also gender distribution. Here we see pretty similar numbers. And we can see also audience interest. What other websites, the audiences that visit these websites are usually going. So we see that Nasha Niva, it's very similar to the audience to the websites we are analyzing in this particular dashboard, in this package of 4 websites. So there are much more metrics, especially traffic, source traffics. I will try to find it now. For example, yeah, website audience analysis. So if we go here in this similar web dashboard, we can see that's Ukrainian websites. Yes, we can see this also audience analysis. Let's find out what we can find later. So yeah, here, for example, marketing mix. That's very important to understand from where audience is coming. For example, for Sputnik, you see the majority of audiences are coming from referrals. Usually it's Yandex and Mail.ru who support pro-Russian websites, and from organic search, because most of articles are in Russian language, and Yandex prioritize Sputnik and RT-related media projects, as I believe. And for example, for Radio Free Europe, social media are the main source of traffic. So almost 46% are coming to RFURL from social media, which is amazing actually. But the main time, it also means that we don't have the loyal audience which are coming directly to the website. So let me show another tool, CrowdTangle. CrowdTangle is for free, as we found out, and we can create here so much dashboards as we wish. You just register your colleagues, you make the create list, for example, for pages, and you add the websites or pages you want to analyze. Let's take digital communication network, add pages here, tag digital communication network. We can also add some famous media, plus let's add BBC, let's say. Okay, it doesn't matter, I will add different websites, Facebook pages, but you can also do the same with Twitter, etc. So I created a dashboard with different websites I'm interested, and now I can go to posts and I can see what do they write about. So it shows me the most successful posts from the media I have registered now. So I see here NBC News, and you see number here, it means this post performs in 22 times more than average, which is super successful. And I can also set up special notification to my phone. If, for example, I have 50 pages I am watching, I am following, it will send me SMS when the performance will be 10 times more from the average, and I will be knowing what people discuss in the internet this time, what are trends, what should I give on my website to make it like more successful and compelling. But besides that, I can see also leaderboard. And leaderboard, it shows me not only the best 10 Facebook pages by number of followers, but by number of interactions. So we see here that CNN is 3 times better than BBC News, BBC News better than NBC News. But you see, numbers of followers, of fans, it's absolutely different. So it's not always correlated, number of followers, fans, and number of interactions, engagement. That's why you have to struggle for more engaged, for more involved audience in conversation and in the discussion. And let me, to the end of my presentation, let me show you some discovery about Instagram. So as I mentioned in the very beginning, Instagram is growing extremely, and I think it won Snapchat, especially in the region of Central Europe, Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and Caucasus. And at RFERL, Belarus service, we have almost 10% of traffic coming from Instagram stories, which we create as the promotion of articles, but also the separate, absolutely independent animation. And on the left here, on this slide, you can see numbers of views per post on newsfeed on Instagram. On the right side, you see numbers of the recent stories, just like posted a few hours ago, 6, 7, 6,000. And usually when we want the same number on our website, we have to wait 1-2 days. And on Instagram stories, we have these numbers in few hours. So the audience is super loyal, it spends a lot of time on Instagram, and it gives just extremely inspiring numbers, and it brings these people to the website, and people who are coming to the website from Instagram stories, it usually spend much more time on each article that from average. And here you see our successes, our results. We just started to develop Instagram stories, and we start to track the numbers of Instagram stories and how much traffic Instagram stories do give to the website. And you see that after February to May 2018, almost tripled number of traffic from the Instagram stories. So only by following, using social media research instruments, only by understanding who are your audience, what your audience like, what makes your audience engaged, only then you can understand which audience, which platforms, which tools of social media and digital media are most efficient for you. Okay, now I'm ready to show you and answer your questions. So I see the comments. So Asamai, can you explain how to set up Chartbeat account step by step? Asamai Sahib. Hi Asamai. Chartbeat is a paid tool. So usually media organizations have to pay for Chartbeat. But also Chartbeat helps a lot of small media, young media, especially in the hostile environments, especially in like countries like your country or like my country. So you definitely can apply for a free account, maybe with some limitations, with some not the full list of opportunities and possibilities, but just try to understand, do you need it or not. They usually have stands on the international conferences, exhibitions, and register people and organizations who want to explore these opportunities. So Olena Dub from Ukraine, from RFRL. Hi Olena. She's asking how to see traffic from Instagram on Chartbit. Show please. Oh, that's very good. So it usually goes to, let's go to Chartbit. Okay. So we usually, what do we do usually? we usually go to Instagram Insights, and Instagram Insights show you how much clicks were on article. But here, let me check because I'm not sure if it is available in historic data. When you go to real-time data, I don't know, now it doesn't work for me, Chartbeat, for some reason. Okay, I will definitely show you later if I will not be able. So sometimes before there was a problem in seeing Instagram traffic, but now it usually shows you from here. You see there is Instagram and number 3. But in some articles it doesn't count as Instagram, but it counts as a direct traffic. So it's difficult to understand what is the methodology. But yeah, but so far we can see here how much people clicked on the article on Instagram story and came to the website. So let's check other questions. So what is the difference between recurrent and loyal audience in a Chartbit? Could you explain, please? Yeah, that's a very good question. So we talked with Chartbit about this. So I think loyal audience is that the audience, as it's written here, which visited more than 1 week during 2 weeks. So here they are like more than visit 8 days from the last 16 days. It doesn't mean that they are visited yesterday, they don't become loyal. But if, for example, they visit almost every second day our website and Chartbit can fix it through the IP, it becomes loyal audiences. So if you have the large number here, like we have, 109, which is super cool, it means you have loyal audiences, because these people which visit almost every second day. And the returning audience, that the audience which just visited during last 24 hours or 24 or 48 hours. So if, for example, yesterday I have visited the website of RFERL, I will become returning audience. But if I visited for last 8 days, I am becoming loyal audiences. Yes, here. What is your opinion, Will Bradley asking, what is your opinion on how to best use the ad targeting mechanism on Facebook? Targeting by location, interest, behavior. Should we be more specific or broad? That's a very good question. Facebook ads are working on the principle as the, how to say, bid market. So if you have many competitors which are giving more ads, and you have many active audience which clicks these ads, usually the price for each ad and for each click is different. Let me just give example. For example, if I want the subscriber to Belarus page of Radio Free Europe, it will cost me one subscriber from 7 to 10 cents. It's very expensive. So it doesn't matter how much advertising and how good advertising is, but I will not pay less than 7 cents, because the market is very small, the audience is not very active, the competition is very, very limited. That's why Facebook makes the prices very high, because it understands that, for example, if one organization, RFERL, has money, it will pay this money. But let's say Ukraine, which has a lot of Facebook users, a lot of organizations which compete to each other, they make this this price is very small, like 2 cents per follower per subscriber. The most important, which I think is totally true, do not promote only page likes. Try to promote your content, because you do the two things the same time. You create loyal audiences, and you can also add in your video, maybe I can show you now, you can make this audience to subscribe. Let's say boost post, I click. So here I can see the goal, what I want, and I can create the button. And you see this button, that's very important to make these people from this video go to the website. So I create a button, learn more. I can type here the address of the article I want to promote. And people will watch the video and will go to the website. But at the same time, if the video just will be shown to anyone who is not follower of RFERL, they will see also the small icon, subscribe, follow Radio Free Europe. So try to push the content, not the page itself. I think it's much more efficient. So the next question, and about targeting. So we make targeting sometimes to specific cities. If you have video about the small village, small town, small regional city, and you have video recorded from drone, let's say, definitely you have to target this audience in this city. They will say, wow, that's a video about my city. They will click and they will subscribe to your page. But if it is something broad, like social issue, beautiful picture, kitties, food, blah blah blah, it's much better to create a much broader audience, like the whole country, and then Facebook will decide to whom to show it better, and the price will be much cheaper. But for example, in Vkontakte, Russian social network, we create dozens of ads at the same time, very extremely targeting, like very small villages, 500 people, 700 people, 1000 people, and that's the only way to make them subscribe to our pages. So do we have any other questions here? Okay. Can you share? Yes, I can share the presentation. I will happy to give the slides. Please stay with Digital Communication Network. We are going to organize a lot of webinars, I hope, this summer. Very soon we are going to present Slovenian project about content gamification, which I think could be very interesting for all of you. Besides that, we are going to organize the forum in the September of this year about digital influencers. Recently, we are trying to identify the bloggers, vloggers, non-conventional media, which are important, which are successful, which are impactful in their countries and in regions in general. And we are going to present and to collect all these people together and to spend time and to build some projects in common. Okay, I think we are going to finalize today. It was a great time seeing you and spend time with you. If you want to create local digital communication network communities, please contact our executive manager, Anna Kalbakiani, or write me personally. I think during the summer we are going to visit each country of DCN network, each of 25, and to create communities, groups, to show you how to organize events in your region or in your country, and we will select ambassadors who will be attending our events in the future. So be with DCN, thank you, and have a nice evening.